G'day to these fans, all things Bulldogs. We're walking for veterans mental health. It's day 8. It's windy. It's wet. But nothing's going to stop us. So we've done about 2.5 days. And had a little break just at the shelter. Got really windy. Anyway, we're going to keep posting these lives. Have a chat. Get some thoughts out there. But we're walking today. People have jumped on and walking 96 kilometres in the month of March. I hope to walk about 130, 140. We've stuck to the 5Ks a day. Raised nearly $800. It's been bloody brilliant. There's a game of footy on right now, and I'm sort of looking forward to getting back and watching it. It was 12-10 to Rabbits over the Dolphin. Beautiful pass from Katoa to Fini Tuiaki. We've done almost 3 kilometres in about 32 minutes. So a couple more to go. So I'll give you some thoughts on our junior results, what's coming up. The Raiders versus Manly was last night. Give you my thoughts on that. It's round 1. But can we just all remember as a fan base at a club, the trial games are just hit-outs for the players for the most part. That's it. Might be a bit windy. If it is, let me know. Say hello if you want. Surely people are watching the Bunnies and the Dolphins, 2 sides. If there's 2 sides to come into the top 8 this year, I favour those 2 sides above anyone else. And that's because the Dolphins get some middle muscle back. If Daniel Saifidi, Thomas Flegler and Tom Gilbert get anywhere near their best, their defensive vulnerabilities are much harder to expose if they can control that ruck. You know, they're number 1 attacking team last year, obviously. And I think this is a really good tussle. Souths get that try down the right edge early to Campbell Graham. And then the Dolphins, Jakey Avarillo on the end of a intercept. Another magic man is Jakey. Don't you worry about that. Still think he can go to another level, and if he does, the Dolphins become a definite top 8 team. They've got a very good balanced side, very young side with the experience in the right areas, and they've been developing together over the last few years. Sort of reminds me of the Bulldogs a little bit, and I think we saw that. They had to play small ball. I forced into it. So anyway, I'd like to see the Dolphins take over the Broncos up here. That would be good. And put them in their place a little bit. But do I ever want to see them win the comp? Well, only if they're playing the Broncos or Melbourne or someone like that. You know, in a grand final. But it'd be good for the area. Got me umbrella on out here. So far we've walked, getting close to, we've done 38 kilometres. So on the Kokoda track, we've reached Minari, on to the next destination. That's how they sort of look at it. But yeah, guys, there's a barcode on the YouTube tile. There's if you're on Facebook following the Dogfather, one of my mates, whatever. We've had about 20 something donations so far, which is more than I thought I'd get. But I'm hoping to double that, I'll keep asking because it's a great cause. But as I say, always as a caption, don't spend money you can't afford, and always, put your main charities first. I know most people do, but some people just can't help giving. Like, I'll accept your money, but yeah, I just say there's a lot of really great people out there. Just give to everyone. But anyway, starting to get my heart rate up again. Had about a 9-minute break, just setting up this live and stuff. When I reached halfway, now I'm heading back. So it's good. I'm really enjoying the walking. Lost a couple of kilos. Not off my face or head though, it seems. But yeah, I'm looking to lose, 1 or 2 Ks a week. I'm on track for that so far for the whole month, and I'm going to keep going after that. 8 days in though, we're into a routine. I'm looking forward to the walk every day. I've enjoyed having a few chats, get some nice comments from the doggies fans and family and stuff. But yeah, footy. So I've got a couple of mates from the podcast getting a little bit anti-Bulldog in their approach. The Mad Dragons, believing that Cade Reid was hit with a dog shot. And I said this the other day, the spirit of the game is to smash your opponent as hard as you can. Now, in that first 2 minutes, Jed Reardon was defending on the left with Sasai Alatini. Now, Jed was supposed to be on the other side. I don't know what happened with the communication. But we had no centres out there for numerous plays in that set. AJ Jones, he knew the urgency. Now, if he gets to Cade Reid a fraction earlier, he shuts down the play potentially. It was courageous by the St George half to take it to the line. He created the space, which is what enabled the try to be scored. But it ended his day, and now he's got to sit out for concussion. And he was hit legally. The left arm wraps, the shoulder hits. It doesn't hit him high. He's slightly side on. And look, I understand if I'm a fan at the game, I'm screaming at that. But we've got to stop looking at rugby league players as the position they are or the size of the person. Right? Fans of any knowledge need to look at it, especially people doing podcasts and stuff, need to lower the temperature a bit. And what I mean is creating narratives that simply aren't true. The game, that whole play was played within the spirit of the game. And he got him while he still had his fingers on the ball. Like, it's, at very worst, it's literally just leaving his hand. AJ was fully committed, and there'll be no case to answer unless they're purely trying to manage perception, which is the issue with the NRL. Perception management over fair and appropriate application of the rules. So, a bit disappointed about the amount of crap coming out about that. We asked Gus, but Gus isn't really answering the dog father these days. That's all right. Unless I really agree with him on something. But there's another thing too that was raised, guys, and I've mentioned this in the podcast. Gus said there'll be no more, like, until further notice, no signings. I understand from the point of view of him, the club and the players, if they believe fans have overstepped the mark, totally agree with them and understand. But the problem is the comment was ambiguous and confusing. Basically said, due to some fans overstepping the mark, there'll be none until further notice. Could have been handled differently, in my opinion. We don't know what the benchmarks are. So anyway, we've reached out to the club and we're going to find out exactly what the club wants in regards to fan and player or fan and official interactions in these things, just so we can support the club the best way possible and spread the word, because I'm sure that people may have not realised they're doing anything wrong, you know. So whatever it is, whether it's, you know, I know I did an article based on seeing Leo Thompson running with the rehab group because it was fair and reasonable, and I know in the stands there was media there, you know. So anyway, the next day when he said that he was fine to go, we did another article as well, basically like a big sigh of relief, going to Vegas, and the rest is history. But you know, I don't know if it's even in reference to anything like that, but that's what I mean. We don't know. But it's a hard thing to manage, you know. We're just fans and us podcasters, just like anyone else. We shouldn't get special privilege, and we should be held to the same standards as any fan, in my opinion. So, just some thoughts on that, guys. Yeah. But not everyone's understanding of what, you know. I've seen little kids, you know, demanding stuff from players, and they're always obliged. The players are great, they've been wonderful. But you know, all I would have said was maybe something like, the boys are working hard on the next game after Vegas. It's essentially another, like they've got to reset their season almost. They've got a plan there, and being open to the public isn't part of it. We'll announce the next one in due time, and we'll also announce the expectations so that, you know, everyone's aware of their responsibilities, you know, and something like that. That's what I would say. But, you know, I'm not everybody else, am I? G'day, Tani. Great to hear from you. Yeah, that's it, Jeffrey Bustani. That's the thing we need clarification on. So I've actually reached out to the club. No one's made a big deal of it yet because I don't think too many people saw the tweet. But I'm sure other fans will ask us when the next signing is or open training is. I'm sure he'll answer it again. But hopefully the club comes out with something. And if there's individuals they know or feel that have overstepped the mark in whatever that is, I'm sure that they would be able to reach them. Anyway. Tani, your walk's going great. We've done... Bloody hell. My earphones have just gone out. Just trying to look at my watch and hold my umbrella. 4.08k, 5,200 steps. Bit slow at 48 minutes. It's only 12 minutes a kilometre. 127 beats per minute. Apparently it's good for your cardio to talk while you walk too, so I'll be right then. We don't know what happened. Someone just asked a question on Twitter when the next training session will be open to the members of the public and stuff. And Gus basically said there won't be any for further notice because some fans overstepped the mark. And it's just like, yeah, it's very confusing and ambiguous. You know, maybe it was us putting phones in the players' faces and stuff. I doubt it though. The thing is you know, we're known around the club. We're known around the club by some, not everyone, obviously. Players would know who I am. They might. I know a lot of parents who have reached out and thanked me for being fair and reasonable when a lot of fans are just talking about their kids like they're pieces of shit. But you saw me yesterday when Gordon made that break late. I was so excited, and I called him an idiot, an effing idiot, when he dropped the ball. Or just passed it to the Dragon, who obviously called it. Yeah, so we're all have our weak moments. So I shouldn't be too hypocritical. But the problem is when you go out on social media and type a whole bunch of shit. Yeah. Anyway, we've talked about it a lot on my channel, and it'll be something we've got to manage ongoing. I suppose I've got to make sure with my standards that I don't treat people the way they're treating players. But anyway, we do our best. Try and find out. But if it's something they want kept secret and they actually wanted, for whatever reason, they just want to, have fans work it out for themselves, which, with old school people like Gus, that used to be the way for us a lot of the time when I was a kid. Work it out. Behave in a certain way. Certain things happen. And you either learn from it or you don't. But the old common sense card's a bit hard these days because so many people with different ideas of what that fucking is. Anyway, I appreciate that. I couldn't believe it. I'm glad you saw the humour in it because I was a bit embarrassed. But just watching them try their absolute guts out all game. Tay, Cooper Toy, Jonathan Sewer, Jed. It's a side. They are under a lot of pressure. So it's a bit annoying when opportunities get thrown away, but they're absolutely bugging it out in their feet. Yeah, that's right. Well, I started coaching teams when I was 15. I coached one. My nephew's under 11 side. Used to walk the sideline. I grew up with all the parents screaming at me, telling me to fucking wake up. Mum used to scream a couple of words, and that used to activate me. and then I'd go good. Basically, it was never about ever how many goals I got or what I stopped or how well I did certain things or how bad. It was about how puffed I was at the end of the game. But I did develop an art form of efficiency. So that's why I'm still very tubby. I knew the shortest way home always. And there's a snort to go with it. So, yeah. G'day Prote, how you going? Thanks for jumping on, saying hello. How far we got to go? 400 metres to hit the 5Ks. I'm about 300 metres from home, so I'm going to go around a little block on the other side. That'll get me up to about 900 metres. Then we'll smash today's target by 10%. So there you go. Starting to get me a little breath going. Bit hillier where I'm walking through here. It's nice and flat near the water. Walking for veterans' mental health. People are going fight for us. But got me away jersey on last year's. And the cap that went with it. This is me Bulldog Sunday. I generally wear something Bulldogs every day, whether it be socks, undies, boxes, whatever. Just so you can hear all the information. But yeah, guys, let's talk about the Raiders. They're our next opponent. Interesting to see what they do next week. I think they're on the road again. I think they play Friday night, away, maybe in New Zealand. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm not sure. I've got to look at it. I should do more preparation, but it's just me walk live. We'll talk about it in depth on the Friday. Sorry, the Tuesday night. Can't talk or think. Getting fatigued. Try not to get run over. But look, if I'm a Manly fan, I'm happy with most of it. Until that field goal, there was no urgency. And Super Jake was the only one chasing, but looked like he was stuck in the mud. Couldn't believe it. Sanders did a really good job. I felt Fogarty played well for the Manly side as well. You know, the difference between good and great and supreme is so small, in my opinion, today. Sometimes it does come down to perception. There's going to be kids in this game who never make it. They could have, should have, and would have, but didn't. But yeah, so hard. But yeah, great competition. People should not stop talking about trials all the time. Got one bloke saying AJ should have been in the side instead of Sam Hughes. I'm like, well, AJ's got to dominate cup. AJ played well in a trial on an edge and looks the goods. One of my favourites. You know, I can't wait to see him get his go and never turn back. But Sam Hughes has been there for 3 years, developing. And he had 20 minutes, gave away 2 6 agains and a penalty. Dubious, in my opinion, 2 of the calls, but that's what happened. And yeah, he didn't come back on. It's that type of game they needed to really push our people. And it's round one. Yesterday, Jack Todd and Jack Underhill and a couple of players looked absolutely gassed and looked like they should have been replaced or could have been replaced earlier. Satilli looked like that in round one. Salmon looked out in his haunches in the trial and in that game. But you know why the coach leaves them on? He leaves them on because they need to get that fitness. There you go, mate. Yeah, they need to get that fitness. They need that extra time. Those lungs need to burn. And then the next time it's easier. We all know it. Anyone who does any sport, right? And they're doing it at a level that's so far beyond. Just getting through the training is so much harder than getting through the game. But nothing beats game conditions when it comes to that fitness. So every team will be better round two than they were round one. I think West will play next week for their first game. We'll see how far they've come. But Titans, you know, and that's the thing. It's what's sort of really annoying is that we got the media just focusing on our boy Galvin and Burton. You know, it was all smiles and handshakes and high fives in regards to Lachlan Ilias at the Titans. You know, who else? You got Pezze at the Eels. Funnily enough, both with the dude who has created the most headlines around Galvin. But I will say this: it is the production manager of that show wants them to talk about what they talk about. It's an agenda, and it's not just from the person themselves. I'll just make that clear. But where's the focus on these guys? They've taken somebody's spot. And look at Tanner Boyd for the Warriors. Had a wonderful game against the Roosters with Sam Walker, who's already an immortal in some people's minds. Cooper Cronk looked a little bit clunky the first few rounds when he came to the club. They went back to back. But my point is that Tanner Boyd has been absolutely ridiculed by fans and by media. He's not been good enough. Well, he looked pretty good last night. It comes down to confidence, not talent half the time. So we've finished our walk, people. Thanks for those who have stuck on and said hello. Dave, I wonder if Sanders playing well was subconscious the reason I had KFC last night. I think so. I think that's true, Dave. There's our deep dive with Dave gives us a lot of stats and some great artwork. Go check out the one on the Dogfather. It's a picture which says Madge demands a little bit more polish, and there's a few Broncos players at the nail at the at the nail parlour getting their nails done. Thought that was hilarious. Thanks, Tony. Unfortunately, Sanders playing well with few of the Mitch Woods is ready to dominate NRL comments. Yeah, 100%. It's definitely going to do that. Groceries here, Dale? You want to go on the live? Yeah, I just done 5Ks.
Well, it's not. I believe you.
I feel like I've got to prove it to everyone. That's why I do the lives every day. You can see I'm walking. I'm not walking up and down the one spot, that's for sure. The new car, the new tool, new work car. Goes good. Anyway, I think that'll do me. We'll talk again on Tuesday, people. Or I'll do me live tomorrow. Go for 20 minutes. Anyway, have a good evening, everyone. I'm going to go and watch the rest of the footy. Thanks for hanging around, saying hello, and go the Dogs. I just don't know how to end it.
Yo, what up, guys? Want to give a massive shout out to All Things